Once you start to explore some of OPNsense's more advanced features, there's a good chance you might break something. Now that's perfectly okay, that's how you learn. However, before that happens, I want to show you several ways to detect and fix issues that might pop up. One of the most effective ways to monitor your system's health is by using OPNsense's built-in charts and graphs, many of which are found here on the dashboard. For example, this widget will let you know if you're running out of memory. This will let you know if you're running out of storage space. This will let you know if you're maxing out your CPU. And this displays your network traffic load. The Services widget is also very helpful. Green indicates that a service is up and running. Red indicates that a service has been stopped. So if your DNS queries suddenly start failing, you should check to see if unbound DNS is showing red. The fix might be as simple as clicking on the Start button. Of course, red doesn't always mean that there is a problem. For example, my DHCP v6 server is stopped because my ISP doesn't fully support IPv6. You can get a more detailed view by clicking on this button, or you can go to System Diagnostics Services. And you can also adjust the display to show more services at once, like this. So remember, if something isn't working right, then check the dashboard. There are more graphs under Reporting, but they usually require a bit of setup. Let's look at Reporting Insights. To enable these traffic analysis graphs, you first need to configure NetFlow, also called FlowD. Just select all the interfaces that you want to monitor, then specify which interface is the WAN. Click the checkbox to capture local data, and then click Apply. This should enable NetFlow and begin populating the graphs. Okay, now we can return to Reporting Insights, and it will take some time to collect enough data to be useful, but eventually, these graphs will show you who is communicating with whom, what applications and ports are being used, and how much data is being transferred across your network. Next, we'll look at Reporting Traffic. This section provides near real-time data on what's currently flowing through your various interfaces, in terms of incoming and outgoing bits per second. You can use the filters to view the information that you're interested in. And the Top Talkers tab can help you quickly identify which devices are generating the most traffic. Next, let's jump over to Reporting Unbound DNS. If you're experiencing any DNS-related issues, you should review these graphs. Looks like we need to enable logging. Okay, that worked. Now we just need to generate some DNS lookups. There you go. Now you can see the spike of DNS lookups here. Of course, there are more graphs, but this should help give you a good idea on what's going on with your DNS. Once you identified you have an issue, then you'll need to investigate the cause, and you'll typically do this by checking the log files. Log files record all your system activity along with any warnings or errors. Let me show you how to find the main log files. First, we'll look at System, Gateways, Log File. This records the events related to your gateways. For example, when your WAN connection goes offline, or it's affected by high packet loss or latency. If you start getting internet connection issues, this would be a good place to track down the cause. Next, we'll look at System, Routes, Log File. This can help you track down the cause of any routing issues. System Log Files Audit shows authentication and configuration changes. System Log Files Backend shows API usage and script executions. Remember, you can search for specific entries in your logs by using filters. System Diagnostics Activity shows all the processes currently running on your OPNsense machine. Firewall Log Files contains all firewall activity. Use this to troubleshoot connectivity issues, like why a device can't access a certain service, or identify potential security threats, like blocked malicious attempts. So, charts and logs are great for telling you what happened in the past. However, sometimes you need to know what's happening right now, and that's where the diagnostic tools come in. You can find these under Interfaces, Diagnostics. The ping tool can help you determine if a server is reachable from your network. It's also helpful for identifying latency issues. So let's try pinging google.com. This is going to constantly check google.com and report if a response was received and how quickly. It also shows the minimum and maximum response times. To get the latest results, click the refresh button. Notice that it sent 23 requests, but it only received 22 responses. This means I'm currently experiencing a 4.3% packet loss. Now, if this trend continues, it could indicate that there's some sort of problem. But you may need to ping a couple of different websites to see if the disruptions are widespread or isolated. You also want to use this to help determine if your connection is slow, if you're losing too many packets, or if both are happening. As I said, you can run multiple ping jobs. Remember, ping jobs will continue running until you either stop them or remove them. Stopping them allows you to restart them later. Removing them completely deletes the entry and any of the collected metrics. There are a bunch of other useful tools here. DNS lookup is helpful for diagnosing DNS-related problems, like verifying a hostname resolves to the correct IP. Netstat shows a complete listing of all your current network connections. Packet capture allows you to view raw network traffic passing through an interface. Port probe lets you see if a specific port is being blocked, either by your firewall or something else. And traceroute shows you the exact path that your packets take to reach their destination. The diagnostic tools can be very helpful for identifying certain types of issues and pinpointing the cause. Now, there may be times where you track down the cause of an issue, but you still don't know how to fix it. In that case, you may need to seek help from online resources. These include the official OPNsense documentation and various support forums. First, let's take a look at the OPNsense documentation. Navigate to docs.opensense.org. Then you can either search for a specific topic or just browse the list of topics here. The documentation is generally excellent. It's not overly technical, and it does a good job covering most features with helpful examples. If you want to learn more about the firewall, click here and then navigate to Rules to find basic instructions for adding new rules. So, if you don't know how to do something, check the docs. Next, we'll look at the official OPNsense forums. The documentation isn't going to be able to cover every single scenario, so if you can't find your answers there, you should try going to forum.opensense.org. Here, you can ask questions and get answers from other OPNsense users. You can also share feedback, find tutorials, and search the frequently asked questions. This is a great place for OPNsense users to share their expertise. In order to post anything, you will need to sign up for a free account. But I recommend doing a search first because many questions have already been answered. You also want to make sure to post any questions in the correct forum. For example, you want to use hardware and performance for asking any hardware-related questions. This is also a good place to find reviews on pre-built machines. Now, when posting, you want to include as much detailed information as possible, such as your OPNsense version, hardware specs, and any specific error messages. The community is generally very friendly and helpful, but they appreciate users who've done some basic research first. You can also check out the OPNsense Reddit forum at reddit.com/r/OPNsense. Now, some people love Reddit, others hate it. Either way, this is a valuable source of information. This subreddit contains unique discussions, user experiences, and other information you can't find elsewhere. Just remember to always search the subreddit first before posting any questions. Now, as a last resort, you can also try using the pfSense forums at forum.netgate.com. Now, you should be aware these forums are specifically for pfSense and not OPNsense. You should not post specific questions about OPNsense on the pfSense forums. However, feel free to search for any relevant topics. You never know what valuable clues you might find here. Because these two operating systems share a common lineage, it's possible that a solution for one might work for the other as well. All right, so now you have 4 valuable resources to help you troubleshoot any issues that you face in the future.